Well, good God. So we just consumed the first game without Caitlyn Clark. The Indiana Fever versus the Washington Mystics. Keep in mind,
the WNBA witnessed one of the most dramatic and contentious moments of the 2025 season when Washington Mystics star Brittney Sykes was sent off after a vicious, unsportsmanlike hit on Kelsey Mitchell of the Indiana Fever. This wasn't just a routine game day foul. Rather, it was a moment that turned what had been a competitive matchup into a spectacle of outrage, confusion, and high-stakes drama. Mitchell, who is known for her speed and poise, was driving into the lane when Sykes cut across with a high-speed aggressive challenge that ended with her elbow ramming into Mitchell's chest and shoulder area. It was a loud, startling moment. That left Mitchell on the ground, leaving the crowd stunned and both benches frozen in shock.
And in large part, Sophie Cunningham had a monster game. I believe she was, I went and looked this morning, 21-8-8 in that game. And last night, she didn't get to play nearly the minutes I would have liked to have seen her play. Sydney Colson started at point guard, stabbed me in the eye with a dull spoon. Literally scoop out my eyeball and just throw it. I mean, it'd be less painful than having to watch this.
The referees blew the whistle right away and gathered to analyze the play. Several angles revealed the amount of the contact, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't a basketball move or a poorly timed block. Rather, it was a risky, intentional body check that left no room for justifications. Officials raised the bird from a flagrant to an automatic ejection following a quick but thorough examination. Under the roar of drunken fans from the heated home, crowd Brittney Sykes left the court in shock and without apologies. Her teammates hardly looked at her as she left, knowing full well that the harm had already been done to her body and reputation.
And consumed, by the way, this broadcast. On a side note, the WNBA's got a problem. The Amazon Prime game and this NBA TV game. Can we not get dedicated nationally broadcast teams that are not local feeds and not partial to one of the two teams? It was horrible. Not only that, but the broadcast team itself was terrible, and the production values, I literally posted online, they put $12.50 into the production value. What are we doing? Are we trying to grow the league? Somebody pointed out that there are broadcasts out there of D2 college games that are better. I was like, you're not wrong. If they want to grow the league, they've got to put on a better production than what I got last night.
There was nothing but mayhem in the aftermath. The tense staircase interaction between the players on both teams caused the arena's energy to turn from electrifying to volatile. What the spectators had come to see was basketball excellence. But now they were seeing something much more sinister. Not only was this a hit that could have caused serious injury, but it also raised the obvious question of where the line is between playing hard and playing dirty. Video clips of the hit were immediately uploaded and shared online, with slow motion footage vividly capturing the brutal impact.
Last night, how about this? Kelsey Mitchell not being able to buy a call. Let me just turn that down. Look at that. She gets destroyed trying to drive to the basket. Right. Let's do it again. Right here. She's driving in. Boom. She gets destroyed. No call. No call. I mean, what is with this league? This league likes to pretend the Indiana Fever aren't getting fouled. Somebody's going to get hurt not calling these. Kelsey Mitchell literally can't get a whistle. And I got to tell you, the reaction to this loss last night, 83-77. I had this, folks, as a win. I had this as a win. If they play like this while Caitlyn Clark's out, they might beat the Connecticut Sun, who I think they play twice. I guess they might beat the Chicago Sky, who's horrible.
Caitlyn Clark, the WNBA's breakout star and the Fever's headline-making rookie, was only a few feet away from the collision when her reaction went viral. She didn't yell or retaliate, but her body language spoke louder than words. She looked at her fallen teammate, then back at the officials, and then at the Mystics bench. It was the look of someone who knew that something had just changed, someone who realized that a foul had crossed into something more sinister. The cameras zoomed in on her face, and in that one glance, millions saw the emotions of confusion, frustration, and disbelief, and it wouldn't be long before she found her voice.
But guys, I mean, this should have been a victory. Kelsey Mitchell, by the way, is back to the dribble, 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 dribble. Keep the ball when it comes into me. Don't pass it to anybody else. Dribble, 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 shoot, miss, lost possession. And she was Angel Reese-like last night. 32 minutes, 4 of 16 from the field. 14 points. Sophie Cunningham only got to play 20 minutes. She scored 2 points and had 1 assist and 3 rebounds. Lexi had 9. Natasha Howard, who you would like to see, her up in the 20s on points with Caitlyn Clark out. She had 11. She only played 17 minutes. Aaliyah Boston, she was real efficient, 4 or 5. I mean, that's what you want from a power forward. Looking right at you, Angel. 4 or 5, 80% from the field, 10 points, 7 rebounds. I mean, this offense looked awful.
Kelsey Mitchell, a veteran leader for the Indiana Fever, and one of the league's most consistent scorers, responded to the hit, not with fury or retaliation, but with silent strength. She didn't roll on the floor or cry out for help. Instead, she took a few seconds, gathered herself, and slowly stood up on her own. No drama, no theatrics, just grit. She walked off the court under her own power, brushing away team staff who rushed over to assess her condition. It was a moment that reminded everyone why Mitchell is so deeply respected in the locker room, because she leads by example, not volume. During the timeout, with the crowd still buzzing from the ejection cameras, caught Mitchell on the bench, speaking in hushed tones to her teammates. When at a moment she was checking her shoulder, wincing in discomfort. The next, she was calmly reassuring the younger players beside her. She wasn't just toughing it out, she was redirecting the team's focus. "Let's win this game," she seemed to say without saying. That kind of mental toughness is rare, especially in a moment so emotionally charged back in the locker room after the game. Emotions were anything but calm Fever. Players were furious, not just at the hit itself, but at what they saw. As a complete lack of remorse from the Mystics, no one apologized or checked in on Kelsey. According to insiders, one employee said, "That tells you everything." The team felt that the hit wasn't just excessive, it was personal. And it wasn't just about Mitchell either. It was about a culture that seemed to allow this kind of dangerous play to go unchallenged, though Mitchell remained calm in her post-game comments, downplaying the severity of the incident and sticking to her usual professionalism. The underlying anger was impossible to ignore. She made it clear with her tone, her posture, and her clipped words that the hit had crossed a boundary. This wasn't just about one foul, it was about respect, it was about safety, and it was about the unspoken rule that players, regardless of team or talent level, should protect each other from unnecessary harm. That trust had been broken tonight, and the Fever weren't going to forget it. When Caitlyn Clark finally addressed the media after the game, the atmosphere was electric. Everyone knew she was going to speak, but no one knew exactly what she would say, and when she did, it was like a jolt of lightning through the sports world. We all play hard, we all want to win, but there's a line, and tonight it was crossed. The room went still. The rookie phenom who had brought unprecedented attention to the league wasn't mincing words. She didn't call out Brittney Sykes by name, but the message was crystal clear. She repeated, "We've seen too many dangerous plays this season, and it's time we start protecting our players better." Her voice didn't waver, and her delivery was focused, controlled, and all the more forceful as a result. She looked at the media, seeking accountability rather than sympathy. Despite being in her first season, Clark sounded like a seasoned veteran who had had enough and had made the decision to speak truth to power at that particular moment.
And Sydney Colson, my God, is terrible running point guard on this team. Terrible. Right here, this was prior to the game. Chloe Peterson put this up. It's Caitlyn Clark signing autographs. Somebody said that she was signing for 20 minutes prior to this game last night. So this could end up being a royal dumpster fire. Now, this is the game right here they won during the preseason. Sophie Cunningham played 34 minutes in that game, had 21 points, was a plus 16 in that game. By the way, Sydney Colson started at point in that game too, played 15 minutes. She was terrible. She was a minus 15. So that Sydney Colson experience, I've got to tell you right off the bat, I am not feeling.
Clips of her post-game remarks went viral on all major platforms in a matter of minutes, and fans reposted them. Former players praised them, analysts called it a necessary wake-up call, and critics who had previously criticized Clark for being too soft or overhyped were forced to realize that she was more than just a scorer and a ratings magnet. She was a voice for change, which made her even more dangerous to the status quo. As Clark herself hinted, the WNBA isn't just trying to grow, it's trying to mature, and maturity means holding people accountable when they cross the line. Therefore, when the league's face says enough is enough, the league better start listening. Because if they don't, they risk losing not only their star players, but also the loyalty of the fans who come to watch them. The WNBA confirmed in a well-worded statement less than 24 hours after the game that the hit by Brittney Sykes was being formally reviewed. Many fans and insiders felt that the league's response was too mechanical, too slow, too safe, and far too ambiguous for a situation that required bold, immediate action. They called it unnecessary and excessive contact with the potential to cause injury and confirmed that additional disciplinary measures were being considered. While Sykes had been ejected during the game, many felt that wasn't enough. The hit wasn't just a technical infraction, it was a blatant violation of sportsmanship and player safety. The statement didn't mention suspension, it didn't clarify timelines, and it didn't demonstrate urgency, and that was precisely the issue. The WNBA's delay strategy was slammed by ESPN and FS1 as being weak and detrimental to the league's reputation after supporters deluged the league's social media with comments calling for a punishment. Later, League Commissioner Kathy Engelbert told reporters that the hit was alarming and that the league was considering its disciplinary procedures, but her inability to take a firm stand sparked criticism. You don't protect your players with investigations. You protect them with immediate action. One analyst stated, Clarkson Mitchell's responses demonstrated that players are no longer prepared to overlook incidents, and that fans are paying attention like never before. This isn't the WNBA of the past. The stakes are higher, the spotlight is hotter, and the only appropriate course of action when your biggest stars are in danger is prompt public protection. Anything less comes across as simplistic. This wasn't just a foul or an ejection. It was a mirror held up to the WNBA, a moment that made everyone ask, who are we? What do we stand for? And where do we go from here? The league's decision in the days ahead won't just impact Sykes, it will also influence the league's culture for years to come. Brittney Sykes' strike on Kelsey Mitchell showed the delicate balance between passion and recklessness, between grit and violence, and between hype and genuine integrity. It also broke the notion that the league could expand without experiencing growing pains. With millions of new fans, billion-dollar TV deals on the horizon, and worldwide attention growing daily, the WNBA is entering a new era. The league cannot afford to send conflicting messages. It must act decisively because, in the end, this isn't just about one dirty hit. It's about whether the WNBA can live up to its promise of being a league for the future, and the future begins now. Caitlyn Clark and Kelsey Mitchell showed us two sides of the same coin: fire, restraint, courage, and control. The league must now decide whether to double down on accountability and protect the players who are writing this new chapter of history, or allow old habits to continue under the pretext of competitive spirit.